Okay, so I had like a bunch of questions to ask, but listening to those two men yesterday, the young men, about fear, and then my friend Lisa just up here, feels like the reason for coming up here is like to incinerate fear and delusion and just trust the process.
The mere act of coming up and getting in front of this many people, completely vulnerable, with nothing to talk about, no small talk.
Yeah.
It's pretty unguarded, It's a pretty raw thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a powerful experience just to be witnessing that which is witnessing this.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Right? It's kind of cool when you stand right in the middle of that fear, and when you're exactly where fear is, it's not really fear exactly. You're fully inhabiting this inhabitation, this whatever this is, feelings, the sensations, the thoughts, fully inhabiting it. There's really nothing that needs to be done, nothing that needs to be completed, solved. Yeah. It's kind of nice. We can be completely raw, vulnerable, open, and it just works fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, this whole thing, actually. So simple.
Is there time to ask a question? Or
go for it?
Okay. Because I liked incinerating. I've had this burning in my face for 10 years. And it turned out to be a sinus infection. And it was dramatic, and I went through all kinds of tests and treatments and surgery, and it didn't really help anything. And I got on this spiritual path, and I was driving to a Rupert Spira retreat, listening to Gangaji, and she said, all sickness is homesickness. And it was like a whomp right in my chest. And I didn't know why at first. And I kind of deciphered it over the next day or two, like a koan. And then the light bulb went off, like, oh, she's talking, this is about this sinus infection. It's not a sinus infection. It's not being done to me, it's being done for me. It's just myself, showing myself the way home, just getting things back in balance. And I stopped being afraid of it, and I started appreciating it.
That's powerful.
Yeah. It was cool. And I understood, like from Rupert, like nothing ever comes into your experience from the outside. How could it? It'd just be more experience. Nothing ever leaves your experience. So the whole infectious disease model started to collapse for me, like some malevolent pathogen was invading healthy tissue, but it's all me.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's not a question in that.
It's really a fascinating. Boy, I tell you, like pain states, chronic pain, these things, whether you're involved in this kind of craziness or not, it's part of life for many or most people at some point or another. But sometimes it's like, okay, is this an organic medical thing or is it an energetic thing? But there's just a lot of crossover. Like, if you have a new kind of pain or symptom or neurologic symptom, I always tell people, like, well, you should maybe get it checked out. It doesn't mean anyone can get a brain tumor. Like, it can happen. But a lot of times there are these energetic states and experiences. And what I found is even when they are sort of oriented to an organic process, like an infection or something, often they're actually there to tell you something. They're like tapping you, going, here, look here, and sometimes it's just trying to show you how to turn a no into a yes. And that strangely can change the experience quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a no. That's very good. A no turned into a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much we can resist without knowing we're resisting.
You know, I was thinking about asking this question. I was kind of hoping at the end you'd say, I wanted to be that like that lady in the back who had this wonderful Kundalini experience.
Mm.
Yeah, Angela's going to tell me, oh, this is an awesome Kundalini experience you're having. But then I realized it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's true. Some people get a lot of Kundalini. Some people get very little. Yeah.
It's one last thing. I would say what's worked for it is just being on this spiritual path and dissolving beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting healthier and happier. And it gets to be what it is.
Dissolving beliefs is so much more therapeutic than I can even tell you, both at the physical level, at the medical level, at the intellectual level, the emotional level. It's fascinating how that exploration of the belief structures and which in and of itself just dissolves them usually just by noticing them.
Yes.
Often that'll do it.
That's it.
Changes your experience of everything.
Yes.
You know, it really does.
Yeah, it's been wonderful to discover that process of just noticing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Isn't that great? Because you don't have to do anything.
You
don't have to be a genius. You don't have to know techniques and processes. It's just a matter of acknowledgement and contact.
It's like the poem this guy read earlier. He just wanted to be noticed. Just notice me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So human.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. That's cool. Yeah.